stop and re-record. It's a good idea.
Just one good run through.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go. Well, welcome everyone to Reread Business Books. I am Jackie Force with Force Realty.
April Blackwell with Blackwell Mortgage.
And we are your co-hosts for Reread Business Books. And we are from Raleigh, Durham, where we're recording this. And April and I created this group for out of our love of business books and personal development books in an effort to share them with the world to hopefully, you can gain some insight, grab a nugget or two along the way that helps you along your journey. And this is our 2025 wrap up.
Yes.
How many years have we been doing this, April?
This is our 6th year. So we have a full 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So we have 5 full years of all of our books that we've read just in list form on wereadbusinessbooks.com. If you go onto books, you'll see all of our past lists. And at the end of every year, and we're a little bit delayed, we're starting the year off by reviewing last year, but we do a medley where we just talk about the books. These are not all the books, some of them were listened to, and but we will go through the stack and tell you what we read and some nuggets from it.
It's good to go back through the year because some of them I'm like, wait, was that this year or was it last year?
Yeah.
They all sort of blend in together. And I think we realized that it's been over 50, I think 60 books probably over the last 5 years, which is great. And that doesn't include, that's the books we read for this group. And that doesn't include our own personal reading and other books that we have. And we will have a bonus at the end, which is our honorable mention, which is good. So if reread, business books or personal development books is not your thing, we do have a couple other ones. Or if you followed along and you wanted some other suggestions, we have those too. So should we get going?
Let's get going. Let me put this in order. Hold on. Okay, awesome.
So the first book we started off last year with.
This is Marketing.
Good.
This is Marketing by Seth Godin.
Okay, so in this book, I was like going back, and we have our notes. It reframes marketing as a service, empathy and trust, not tactics or hype. I mean, I think the world of marketing is filled with shiny objects. So the author emphasized creating meaningful change by deeply understanding a specific audience, building long-term relationships rather than chasing attention. How did you feel about this one?
I honestly, we read this in January, so I was like, what was this? I had to look through it again. So sorry, Seth, but it wasn't top of the tongue. From what I remember, he's got a great style, great examples. There are 2 chapters that when I was reviewing the chapters, I really liked. People like us do things like this.
That's right. Yeah.
And serving the smallest viable market. So I thought that those were 2 interesting chapters from the book, and that I kind of like reconnected with when I just did like a quick browse through. But yeah, it's about service and being help and solving problems. And sort of towards the end of the book, there's this little section that says, help. When we offer it, we're being generous. When we ask for it, we're trusting someone else to see us and care about us. On the other hand, when someone refuses to offer help or ask for it, everyone is closed, on defense, afraid of the other. If there's no connection, we can't make things better. So I thought that was kind of like a great maybe summary for what that book was, the spirit of the book.
Yes, I agree. Those 2 chapters did stick out for me as well. The quote that I have highlighted is marketing is no longer about the stuff you make, but about the stories you tell.
Yes.
So I felt like, when you're in sales and you have a business and you are sort of running and hustling and all the things, it's easy to get caught up into, this is what I have to say and do and the activities I need to make happen. But it really sort of brings it back to, marketing is, telling your story, telling other people's stories so they identify and then they can potentially, work with you. I mean, ultimately.
Yeah. I think the book is great if you are responsible for marketing for your company, setting branding and tone. Right. It is a modern take on marketing versus sort of like what you learned in business school marketing. So, I would recommend it as a reference book for someone who's perhaps engaged in the marketing functions of their business.
Sort of a different take. It's not as technical, but it's a good way to sort of get to the other side of things in storytelling and such. Okay, so on to the next one.
10% Happier by Dan Harris.
Okay.
This one I actually remembered a lot more of.
All right.
And I think it's because it's a story.
Yes, it is a story. I loved it.
Yeah.
This one for me was a really good, I've listened to his podcast. He has a podcast. He's all the things, right? But I was intrigued by his story. This was an anniversary edition. I guess he originally had this
10th anniversary,
Yeah, so it was like, going back to his story about him being a newscaster and like his journey and his own self-discovery and success in doing something completely different, sort of coming back to some different values that he had. I really liked it. I remember the feeling I had after reading this book was, okay, it's not a straight line for a lot of people. And also being mindful and, taking time to think, because he's also into meditation, was, sort of a cool takeaway.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I just remember sort of like laughing a lot when he shared his story about going away to like, I don't know, it was like a Buddhist,
it was a silent camp that he's a journalist, so as a journalist he could not speak the entire time.
And it was just it's just getting in his mind and what he was thinking, what was happening around him, and just like it was hilarious. And so I really enjoyed this book, and the reason why he went down this path is because he had a panic attack on live TV. And so he needed to kind of get his stuff together. But great biographical story about somebody who's, considered a celebrity, Dan Harris. I would really recommend this one. Yeah. Really for anybody.
It was like taking you away from the hustle and grind and what that could do in your business, in your life, and really what is, the meaning of what you're doing. And he has boiled it down to, if you can just be 10% happier than you were before, like that's the goal. It's not 100%. It's not, 150% or whatever. So it did sort of bring together, on my notes here, like the mindfulness of high achievers. And it's his journey from anxiety and burnout to clarity and calm.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
so here's a quote: meditation is not about becoming a new person. Yeah. So it's, just being, sometimes you just need to go from being highly negative to just neutral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have to go from like highly negative and stressed to like,
the opposite.
Yeah.
No, just 10%.
Just take off a little of the edge. Yeah.
Yes. The quote that I have is, meditation is not about feeling a certain way. It's about feeling the way you feel. So it's like being that mindful, taking it through. So anyway, that was cool. Yeah. I thought it was a nice break from other kinds of books.
Yes.
Which also, for me, started me down a path for what we're going to do in the future.
Exactly.
So we'll get to that.
Exactly. All right, Jackie, take it.
All right. Ooh, this was one of my favorites this year. I would say it's in my top 3 here. Likeable Badass by Alison Fragale. This book challenges the myth of women, that women must choose between being liked and being respected, or being respected. So either or. Fragale offers research-backed strategies and to build influence, confidence, and authority without sacrificing authenticity. So for me, I felt like it was a really great, how women get the success that they deserve. So it's sometimes like going from the hustle culture to, I have to be this like, what people think of as a badass, like making hard decisions and doing all the things, but she takes a different approach, and I loved the way she sort of pulled it all together. The quote that I had highlighted was, "Power without warmth breeds fear. Warmth without power breeds doubt. So it's like a nice balance between embracing who you are without having to, again, like turn into a different type of person or, you know, different tactics that's not true to who you are. So I really like this. How about you, April?
Yeah. So just a little bit about Alison. She's an organizational psychologist and professor specializing in power, status, and influence at work.
Yes.
And, you know, I think this book is great for women or men for that matter. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean women only, but, and I think she even mentions that, like, you know, regardless of your gender, if your voice is not being heard because you are really heavily in that warmth quadrant, then you don't get taken seriously and you don't have that influence. So it's like how to like use your expression, like to use your voice to express your brilliance. Whereas on the other end of that spectrum is you have some people who are just so competent, men or women, that completely, utterly lack
the warmth
part, and they come across as being total jerks and nobody wants to be around you. So it's like, you know, we need both, you know? And so I thought that was, so if you feel like you're leaning heavy on one end or the other of that, I think that's a great book. Otherwise, it's a fun, light read, and she was enjoyable.
It was good. It was like the balance. It reminded me a little bit of some of the lessons in Vanessa Van Edwards' book, Cues.
Yeah. So
it's like, it's just embracing, and I feel like, you know, a lot of times, especially women, or if you're not in that kind of, you know, if you have a different personality and mindset about business, thinking you have to be one versus the other, I thought it was a good allowing yourself permission to be who you are.
Yeah.
So, I love that.
Be true to you, you know. There's only one you. So okay, I really like this one.
I know. He's so good. So tell us where you found this book.
And so he came to Sales Mastery. So I actually got to meet him. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is my signed copy or not, but he signed a copy for me. I didn't grab that one, but this is the one I read before I met him and got a signed copy. So we were watching the Super Bowl last year, which is, I guess, in February, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry. This is the type of stuff I get from the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay? Y'all care about who's playing and what the score is. I want to know what they're reading on the sidelines.
Yeah. And it just so happened that the Philadelphia
coach.
Yeah. One of the players. I thought it was a player. One of the
players
or something.
Yeah, so he was reading it on the sideline. He keeps this book and he reads through this like every practice on the sidelines, and it caught a cameraman's attention, and then it made it to like Good Morning America or one of like the morning shows, and
all the socials,
and I was like, well, what's that? I mean, I actually caught it live when the cameraman zoomed in on it and made some comment about it, like, oh, and this player, like, you know, reads this book every day. And I was like, well, we need.
But he was reading it in between plays and stuff too.
Yeah.
So it was like,
he's not on the field.
No, I mean, but not like to bring a book in the middle of a game, you know, a highly televised, most important
never
game,
happened before.
But, you know, so that is unusual. So it definitely caught a lot of people's attention to do that.
So anyway, so I've been reading at the back of the book. So Inner Excellence shows you how to develop mental toughness and perform with freedom, train your subconscious mind and expand your beliefs, overcome mental blocks and get out of your own way, develop empowering habits and transform your life. So he basically, he was a high-performing athlete who had an injury and didn't know like what he was gonna do with his life. And again, remember from stories. Yeah. And this is basically an accumulation of what he learned and getting back into coaching others. You do what you know. He couldn't play, but he could coach. And also, the book starts off with some wisdom from his Japanese samurai great-grandfather. Oh,
yes, it does start. I forgot about that, Yeah, so it's an interesting start to the book, for sure.
Yeah, so sort of like combines this ancient wisdom along with his discoveries. And like the sort of like quote that resonates with me is to ruthlessly eliminate hurry.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And there's actually a book by the same title.
Yeah,
because that's such a significant impact. But anyway, what about you?
Okay, yeah, no, loved it. I felt like, again, I'm like going back to, because it was, I remember reading it being truly inspired and really liking, his approach, this story about the samurai. I just thought it was really cool. What's the quote that you don't perform the way you want, you perform the way you are. So he focuses on the emotional discipline, presence, and purpose. So I thought it was good. Yeah.
And the quote I have is, external success is a byproduct of internal mastery.
Yeah, I love that. Very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely one to pick up if you're needing a boost of performance, wanting a boost in.
And in fact, so when I was at Sales Mastery, Todd Duncan was also reading this. Mm-hmm. And he was like just a few chapters in. He's like, this book is so good. He's like, we are studying it like one chapter at a time.
Yeah, take it in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So
one of those.
some books are meant to be read once or twice. This is a book that you, just like that player, should probably read.
Yes.
And digest slowly, because it is deep and very impactful. So I think this is my favorite book of our reads last year.
I think we had that same conclusion when we reviewed it over the past year, is that you could go back through it.
Yeah.
So,
it's just
very cool.
So great.
Awesome. So the next one we actually did, hold on. Wait, Finish. I just turned my page on accident.
Yeah, no worries.
So Finish by Jon Acuff. And where you don't necessarily have to keep going through this one. This one was a quick, fun read. It's sort of a little bit light on the personal development stuff, but listen, give ourselves a break. It says, give yourself the gift of done. And what I loved about this, I'm going to just read my notes here. Acuff tackles the perfectionism and the fear that keeps people from completing meaningful work. The book offers practical, humorous strategies to stop overthinking and finally finish what matters. The quote that I have highlighted is, perfectionism is not a badge of honor. It's a stunt double for fear. So it holds us back. And I read this going, oh my gosh. And one of the things in here, I had read through, I just felt like after I read I was listening to it actually, although I did buy the book afterwards just to have it.
I was like, there's no highlights in this, Jackie.
No,
Makes sense now.
I was listening to
when
it.
you read a book, you got it all marked.
I know, usually, I have it all marked. But isn't this your copy? No,
that's your copy.
It's my copy. So anyway, I just felt like he was funny. It was enjoyable to listen to. So he actually reads the book. He is the narrator of the audio. He's just funny. And I just felt like in the middle of the summer in a busy, busy season, it was just light and it was cool. Same. It was a good reminder that, perfection and being finished doesn't need to be perfect. And I thought it was a cool relief from some of the heavier material.
He's a delight.
Yeah, it was a delight. Yeah.
He's a delight to read. Sort of funny. We ended up reading another book that we're going to go over next that he wrote as well. But before he wrote Finish, I think one of his earlier books was called Start.
Yeah.
So now he has the bookends to starting something like, sometimes just the journey of 1,000 miles is that first step, right? So that's what Start would be about. And then Finish is like, hey, sometimes we just kind of get like, start itis and we're just starting, we don't finish things.
Right.
So this is sort of like that manual. If you find yourself to always be a perpetual starter, like you don't have problems starting stuff, but you might get things 75% of the way done before it's squirrel, onto the next, then this book is for you. And the quote that I have here is, the opposite of perfect is done.
Right. Yeah. So this is the deal. Like, he gives you permission to cut your goal in half. Just finish it.
Yeah.
If there's something tripping you up to get it finished, be real about what that is. And the one part that I absolutely loved in this book was chapter 5, leaving your hiding places and ignore noble obstacles. So the noble obstacle, I can't finish that because I have to do all of these other things, and I have to, bake a cake and make it from scratch and do all the things.
I better clean my email box.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The noble obstacle. Like, yes, you should do that, but not for this thing. Right?
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was fun.
I'm glad you picked that back up.
He was so fun to read. We then
turned around and picked up soundtracks, which neither one of us actually have the physical copy. We both listened to it on Audible. And soundtracks is basically, about those ruminating voices that we play in our heads over and over again.
So this is our book here. It was, and you know what? Quite appropriately, we listened to this book called Soundtrack.
Right? Oh, I didn't even catch the irony in that, but that is so true.
We both listened to it.
That is so true. Yes, it has like a thinking man with headsets on. I love it. What a clever cover for that book. But I like this. You don't control the first thought; you control the second.
Yes, I loved that. Let me see if that is that one the one that I have.
Was that your quote?
Yes. Same.
Awesome. Well, we might have had a common source.
I would have tagged that for sure. So yes, loved it. It's what we tell ourselves. In fact, he also has a teen version of this. I bought it for my son.
Ooh,
so he's just cool. And it was really fun to listen to him for both of these books.
And then honorable mention, like we were just like in the Jon Acuff fan club. Mm-hmm. So there's on Audible, another book called All It Takes Is a Goal.
Yeah.
Just sort of like the thing to get you started that you need to work on to finish. But I mean, anyway, he's a delight. He is just, if you you don't want to be bogged down by anything heavy and you just need something to really kind of like energize you, he's a go-to for sure. Just
loved it.
Anything.
Yep. Cool,
awesome.
Cool. All right. So soundtracks, we got that one. And now we are at, Worthy. So that was sort of late summer, early fall.
Yeah, we're getting towards,
So, Worthy, Jamie Kern Lima, I think this is her second book that she has written, a powerful exploration of self-worth, especially for women who struggle with confidence despite external success. Lima encourages readers to stop outsourcing their worth and step fully into their potential. And this book sort of surprised me. It's like, it's going to be like, be your best and do all the things. But then she has then she hit us with her personal story. Yeah. And where she came from and how she started. And I was like, if something wouldn't trip somebody up on how they could be successful, it's her personal story. So get the book. Like it was actually, it's called Simple Steps to Life-Changing Results. It's all about mindset. The entire book is about like owning your story and then what it takes to just train your thoughts in your mind to then to honor what you're doing and know that you're worthy of the success that you're having. So
she was fun to listen to, and for those of you who don't know, she is the founder of IT Cosmetics and a self-made entrepreneur, but then I think it was sold to L'Oreal or something.
Yes,
but
for like $1 billion.
$1 billion. Yeah. So she's done really, really well for herself. Yeah. She created the skincare because she was on camera. She was filming television, and she had rosacea, really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And just an incredible story of just tenacity, because when she created this makeup for people with real skin, like healthy makeup, not just makeup for beauty purposes, but healthy makeup. Nobody wanted to have the models that she wanted to use. They didn't want her to represent her brand because, she didn't have the look. So, here's a woman who suffers from rosacea. Also, she's not supermodel looks,
Yeah,
this thin,
6 foot tall and 100 pounds.
Yeah, no, she's not. I mean, she's just a real woman, and she wanted to have real models as her. So as her success grew, she needed a way to sell it, and she sold it on. She ended up selling on her first
break was what's that?
QVC or something.
Yeah.
Chopping it.
But she wouldn't do it unless she could have real people, real women be her models. So that was a turning point and something that she did really different. But she just knew in her heart that's just what she needed to do.
And that's the takeaway. Yeah. It's like, just like, you've got to believe in yourself, you know, when you have that idea and that passion, and to not give up, you know, because life is full of obstacles. And if you just get knocked down and stay down, you know, nothing good is going to ever happen. Yeah. But, you know, I just love that it was written by a real person.
Yeah.
And who's also like amazing.
And she's also, I love the part in here. So she reads the book. She's the narrator. I listened to it. I also have the book. In fact, I think you gave that book to me, but I listened to the audio. She narrates it. And I just love when it's like that, because it's her story. So it's nice to hear the author tell her own story. But also the one thing, I mean, you have to get it so you could read her backstory. But also the one thing that I could not believe, she met Oprah Winfrey. And Oprah gave her personal phone number. And it took her 4 years to actually even use that phone number, because she didn't think that it was real, like, or she was worthy of like actually calling herself. Anyway, it was good. I liked it.
I mean,
it was like,
just
that was good.
Phenomenal, great book for anyone, just for anybody. It's a great book.
Yeah.
All right,
cool. So we don't have
the physical copies of the next one, but you should have a picture of it.
Picture. Yes. So it was 5 dysfunctions of a team.
Maybe getting a little bit closer. Maybe.
Okay, can we see that? Yeah. So 5 dysfunctions of a team by
Patrick Lencioni.
Oh, Patrick Lencioni. Yes. So he's written many books. This was one of his breakouts. I think a lot of people with teams and team dynamics. It's sort of on the list, I think of a lot of leadership books. So we added that in. It's a fable, and it outlines the 5 common breakdowns that prevent teams from performing well, starting with a lack of trust and ending with inattention to the results. So interesting. So I can't remember who.
It just keeps coming up.
We just had to read it.
It just keeps coming up. You know, other people that I've seen online have really recommended it, and I was like, okay, and it's not like a new book. It's been around for quite some time.
20 years. I don't know.
And so, a while. You know, I like reading classics because there's something to say about.
And it's also a fable. Yeah. So I love that. You know, we had a lot of like personal stories, but having a fable was really cool too.
Yeah, it was kind of reminiscent of the Energy Bus. You know, that we read. I mean, just really nothing to add to it. Just a fun book, a thin book.
Yeah.
Also, like maybe a short listen, 3 hours or something.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't long. I mean, you could, you know, in a couple of days while you're driving here to 4, you can listen to it. Yeah.
What was your quote? You had a quote there.
Trust is the foundation of real teamwork.
Okay, so mine was, trust is knowing when a team member does push you, they're doing it because they care about the team.
Yes, there was some, I can't remember what the remedy, so they give you these dysfunctions, but they also give you the remedy for each of the dysfunctions. And one of them is kind of like radical candor, you know, like challenging with respect, you know, speaking up. Like, you know, you just can't sit back in a meeting and be passive and let, you know, it just pass by without contributing. You do need to challenge others with respect. And that's the only way that, you know, a business can flourish.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like the one leader, now it's coming back to me, the one new leader had to like come into the team and they take them away and they're like, oh, this isn't going to work. And then through her process, one by one, they all learned these things. And then they, you know, it was a happy ending.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all books.
Yeah, if you want to break from all of the heavy, you know, kinds of things, this was like a nice, fun, like, okay, yeah, that's cool kind of reminder. Okay, so next one
was also a listen.
It was a listen. That was good too. Let me get this one. It was called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman, who is a he's another kind of performance business kind of coach. The Power of Secret Identities to Transform Your Life. So this was a little, there was a nod to this kind of what he's writing about in one of Jon Acuff's books when he put on his shoes.
Yes.
He put on his shoes when it's time to get his project, his working feeling time. So what do you call it? Yes, there you go.
So they're tokens. Yeah.
The token.
Tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this book came up as sort of exploring that idea even further. And it's like sort of that Superman, you're putting on your cape. Who's actually the real person? Is it Clark Kent being Superman or Superman being Clark Kent? Sort of that idea. But when it's time to perform, when it's time to get over that block of, what you have to do. Sometimes you have to call in a different kind of persona, still you, but it's just channeling your energy in a different way. And, putting on your cape and doing your thing, your token, your hat, all the things. So it was a cool, coaching technique that he explores in this book.
Yes. And you recommended this book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get it from a coaching program?
I can't remember exactly where the recommendation came from, but I feel like it was either people who like this book like this one too, and then I heard it from somewhere else as well, and I was like, well, let me take a look. And once I listened to the sample, I was like, hey, April, this sounds fun.
And it definitely, it was a lot of fun, full of great stories. The author is a high-performance coach for athletes, entrepreneurs, and executives, but just like Jim Murphy, background really begins in sports.
Yeah.
And coaching athletes who need to get the most out of athletes.
He has his stories of his clients are really cool, in lots of different, a lot of sports ones, but there's other ones too. The quote that I have is, "You are not your fears. You are the one who can step beyond them."
I like that.
So you are not your fears. So by putting on your cape, you can
I like that.
on.
I like that. And then the quote I have is, "You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your training."
And where have we heard stuff like that?
We've heard that before. Also you don't fall to your habits. I think it was probably in Atomic Habits when James Clear's probably said that. Other coaches, peak performance coaches, have said that you don't rise up to your aspirations, what you hope you're going to do. You're going to rise to the level of your preparedness, which is based on your training. So they were. Another year of great books. Some I would read again. Some I got enough the first time.
Yes.
What were your honorable mentions, Jackie?
Okay, so my honorable mentions, I just have two of them. I've read some other ones, but for the purposes of just sharing them right here, Be Ready When Luck Happens by Ina Garten. It's her memoir. So I just loved hearing. I was inspired by, it was given to me, and I read through it. Of course, I love cooking, and I just wanted a break. I wanted to learn about other people. And of course, I have all of her cookbooks. And so reading about how she got there was really cool. And again, not a straight path. It's sort of like a little, a different path than you would expect for her being a TV personality, chef and such. The quote that I have here is, "You can't be ready for luck if you're not willing to work for it." She had a long road ahead of her, but it was just a cool story. And this is also where I sort of got the bug to learn and read more personal stories about others, about their journeys.
Yes.
So how about you? Tell us one for you.
You have a picture of mine here. Robin Sharma has been a favorite of mine since we read 5 a.m. Club back in 2021. So this is The Art of Daily Consistency, or The Deep Magic of Daily Consistency. Also, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield.
Oh, yeah.
Were great books.
I would put that on my honorable mention, too.
So anything by Robin Sharma. Right now he has a few, instead of his traditional longer books, he's putting out more smaller books, or shorter listens. At the end there's a complimentary meditation, which is really great. He's
your guy.
He's my guy.
Okay.
Anything by Robin Sharma. So.
Awesome. I'll share one more mention. Gosh, I have to go back to my pictures. Well, I have all these other.
I know. So the updates, we can't find our photos anymore.
Okay. All right. So this one, What Happened to You by Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. I love this. I mean, just going into, we touched on it, a couple of these books, mental health and just, understanding, the more we understand about that and then understanding others as well. This is Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing. I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Oprah, in the listen, you have to listen to it. One of our networking partners, members of our group, recommended this. So I took a listen, just out of curiosity. And it is good to understand, other human behaviors and maybe not what they bring to the surface as much as like wondering or being curious about, how they got there instead, So it was cool. It was a good listen. Definitely listen, not a read. The audio was a nice conversation between the two authors.
Oh, I love it. I wrote that down. And that's like a key question that they ask, I was in Kiwanis and they were talking, we had a visiting person come in and talk about their home, foster home for kids, and like troubled kids come in. Instead of asking what's wrong with you, you ask what happened to you. And like, that is like this opener, instead of like basically accusing somebody of like,
not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you. How did this, everything in your life can affect you in different ways and in a person. So understanding their journey is way more than just understanding exactly where they're, what happened to them right there. It's more about their experience with that. So awesome. It was cool. I liked it.
So moving forward, so that wraps up 2025. That is our rapid review. I'm not sure how rapid it was though.
I know. If you missed last year, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. So if you missed anything last year, and in fact, the Facebook group, we had a lot of trouble with videos being deleted after 30 days, and just so it didn't really hold everything. So I'm glad we have like this, review everything for our YouTube channel. And then going forward, we're going to veer away from doing things live because of just sort of like the logistics with the new Facebook changes and everything. So stay tuned for the last Wednesday of the month for a post that will just be a previous recording. In February, we will be reading Stillness is the Key.
Yes. So we're sort of also shifting some of our topics to explore the more human aspects of leadership, some stories, like personal journeys, stories about individuals, mindset, different kinds of things other than like marketing and, profit first and business and all the things. Yeah. So just a little bit more, might even throw some fiction in there as well. Yeah. So
a little less how to and a little bit more about people and, our brains and how they work. And going
a little deeper. Yeah, so we're excited for that. Just sort of shifting a tiny bit, but all, with good lessons. I mean, that's the point of what we read is, a little bit of entertainment and also some lessons that we learn in there.
Because our businesses that we create on the outside are a product of our inside. So learning more about the inside stories is really where we want to go. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, keep reading.
Ta-ta.
See ya.
Alrighty. I wonder how long that was. What do you think?
I think it was